With The Rock handing that belt to Cody's mother, who's crying, getting exactly what The Rock has said, I'm going to hand you a belt with his sweat, his blood, and your tears. To end WrestleMania with him making that presentation, oh man, you imagine the viewership for Monday night to see what happens next? All right, here we go. Night number 2 at WrestleMania. We're going to start with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament of Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain. Bill?
Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
I'm going with the other guys because I think the WWE is trying to move them. The movement has not worked yet. They're trying to get Karrion Kross, who was such a good worker on the Indies, by the way, too. I think it's going to be Karrion Kross and his gang.
I think it's going to be Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
Fine, disagree.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, it doesn't matter, does it? All right, here's the next one online. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Bill?
Okay. I think somehow, and I think I predicted this in the newsletter, fans are going to be very disappointed because AJ Styles is going to walk away with this one. It's going to be a great battle, but there's going to be a screw job somewhere.
Teddy, what do you think?
Well, with what Bill just said, screw job somewhere, because I'm definitely, I'm going with LA Knight. And the reason I'm doing that, I think, is because, with LA Knight, the little rise that he's getting right now is certainly coming. And with AJ, he's been around. Everybody knows him. I think it's time, for somebody to, get somebody over and leave him strong. So I'm going to go with LA Knight.
Yeah, and my feeling is that AJ Styles is going to shine LA Knight up really good because he needs that right now to move on, so they can have a program moving towards SummerSlam. Because I think that's where the push seems to be. All right, let's look at the United States Championship triple threat match. Logan Paul, your current champion, versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Teddy, what do you think?
Oh, I think Randy will take it to the bank.
Bill?
The champ retains.
I agree. I think the champ retains. I think Logan Paul remain, but look, with Randy Orton in there, I don't know. And maybe that third person in this match is to help take the belt off and have somebody else. You know what I mean? Put a little monkey business in the match. Maybe they change that belt.
No, we don't know what you mean.
All right, here we go. The WWE Women's Championship. Io Sky, your current champion, versus Bayley. Teddy.
Well, I hadn't watched Io Sky a whole lot. Seen Bayley quite a bit. She's always looked impressive. But like I said, I don't want to make the wrong prediction, and I don't want to make the right prediction. So I'd rather just take a guess at it. I think Bayley will come out on top. I
say Bayley too. Bill, what about you?
I've known Bayley since she was Davina Rose in the California Independence. Not Independence. And I've seen her grow step by step. And this is going to be her WrestleMania moment. She's going to win.
All right. This is one that I'm not sure about. The World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, your current champion, versus Drew McIntyre. And of course, a lot of it has to, deal with the night before and just what kind of shape will Seth Rollins be in for night number 2 and his second match at WrestleMania. Teddy, what do you think?
Well, this one's hard too because, we kind of really got to see what really happens on the first night to kind of predict this. But, Seth is certainly, the guy, Drew, don't get me wrong, man. Great performer, and I think Drew wants this thing real bad. We've been watching him, but I just believe some kind of way Seth is going to pull this off.
I do too. Bill, what about you?
Drew McIntyre is PO'd. He's angry. It doesn't matter what happens the night before. He's going to walk out as the world heavyweight champion.
All right,
and see, that's what I'm afraid of. Sometimes you can let the anger take over. You know what I mean? So I think Drew needs to just settle down a little bit, regroup and concentrating more on how I'm going to take this guy out instead of the anger part. And I think if you control the anger a little bit and concentrate more on the ring tactics, then I think there's a chance there. Let Charlotte play that game. Let Seth be the angry man.
Maybe, let me back up. Maybe it's not anger. Maybe I'm looking at intimidation.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this is the match for WrestleMania, both nights 1 and 2, and it's the main event for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Your champion, Roman Reigns, versus the challenger, Cody Rhodes. Teddy?
Oh, man, I tell you.
Let me ask you this before you make up your mind. Let me ask you this: are you thinking of this in the business sense or in the story sense?
The business sense.
Okay.
And the business sense, I would have to go with Cody.
Bill.
Business sense and story sense. The head of the table is going to remain the head of the table. There is going to be so much going on in this because I have a feeling even if it's not bloodline rules, The Rock, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and maybe some other Samoans will come out and disrupt this entire thing. Not going to end the story for Cody on a good note.
Now, I kind of like that idea. If they do that, if Cody's not going to win, it needs to be an influx of a lot of people, that family coming in to cause that ending to happen that way. Because again, we're on the second night. In the old days, Vince liked to end his shows with everybody feeling good. So if you're going to leave that show on a down note, you need to have that down note actually hit by something that's huge, like that family coming in and taking Cody out.
Yeah, I agree with that, but you got to quit thinking about the way Vince would do it because that ain't what's going on right now. It's the way they're going to do it. So
keep in mind that there probably will be a very bloody ending. This is like the era of Dusty Rhodes' blood on his son.
I
have a
that.
feeling whatever happens is going to be very ugly. Very ugly.
For me, the vision will be, and I think that this would be a great image to end it with, as bad as it sounds, but with The Rock handing that belt to Cody's mother, who's crying, getting exactly what The Rock has said, I'm going to hand you a belt with his sweat, his blood, and your tears. To end WrestleMania with him making that presentation, oh man, you imagine the viewership for Monday night to see what happens next?
Ooh. Yeah.
So, all right, guys, let's move on to something completely different.
By the way, I'm glad to see that Michelle, Cody's mom, is part of this. I mean, she's been around, through Dustin and Cody and the American Dream, baby. So, yes, I do know that Dustin isn't hers, but it's still the Rhodes family.